What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, guys, as we are here for a special episode here on this Wednesday afternoon before we go live for AEW Dynamite. Because as of yesterday, the news is official, and WWE, UFC, and TKO have all officially merged, and they're all now a part of the exact same thing. So, what exactly does that mean? That is what we're going to be going over here today on today's episode as we talk about what does this mean for WWE? What does this mean for UFC? How is this actually going to change things? Will it change things? What could happen in the future? And so much more. So, I want to thank all of you guys for coming here, hanging out with me on this Wednesday afternoon. As I said, before we go live for AEW Dynamite, before we get into all of the information, guys, make sure you hit that like button on this episode if you have not yet. Subscribe, join the conversation, all of that good stuff. All of that good stuff. My bad, guys. I don't know what happened there. But do all that good stuff. But let's get to the chat. Let's see what everybody is doing real quick. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, I guess it froze real quick for a second. I don't know. But let's see how we doing here today, guys. We got Jadis in the building. What's up, Jadis? How we doing? Yeah, bro. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube, bro. YouTube be having issues, bro. I can't control it. It's all of us, apparently. I don't know why people can't see certain things. I just hope everybody can see this episode, and I hope everybody comes and hangs out. So, yeah. It was good, Jadis. It was good. It was a good day. How you doing, Missy? Thank you for stopping by, Missy. So, what does this mean for WWE and UFC? I know it's on Netflix, but now what? What's on Netflix? Wait, what do you mean? What's on Netflix? Missy, if you have not yet, as Missy says, if you have not yet, please give this a like button. Please. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it here on Tino's Town. I'm trying my best to get the new subscriber in here, but I sent you it and YouTube. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on with it. It's again, can't do anything about it. We really, really can't because, yeah. So, again, it is what it is. Hopefully, everybody can see this episode. Hopefully, YouTube fixes their issues sooner rather than later. And let's hope that's not. Let's hope that's the case because, yeah. So, let's get into it, guys, and let's start talking about what this means for all of WWE as the deal is done. I haven't seen WWE on Netflix. Is WWE's on Netflix now? I haven't heard that. But let's take a look, guys, and let's go over it. And I got a bunch of pictures for you guys, so I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures. We're going to go through it, and we're just going to be talking about it and everything like that. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, how you guys feeling about this? What do you guys think? What do you guys feel? There's a couple things I'm going to talk about that I watched that I found out on a couple other podcasts, such as JD from New York, our guy from JD New York, always doing some great stuff, and other podcasters. So I want to just make sure that we talk about everything as much as we possibly can. But let's go over this. And shout out to Russell Ops for the picture on Twitter. He has, and the view of the outside New York Stock Exchange this morning per Ariel Hawani. So this is the new outside, as you guys can see, UFC, TKO, and the WWE. We also have two belts, the UFC belt and the WWE Championship belt. And as of today, yesterday it would have been, the deal is done for the Endeavor to form a $21+ billion global live sports entertainment company made up of UFC and WWE, named TKO. So that's pretty much what it is. TKO is UFC and WWE combined, and they just named it TKO for everybody that is curious. It's a new era, everybody. So, as I said, it's pretty much all about the money, guys. It's all about the money, and it's all about that, this, and that. So, now let's take a picture from Sean Rass Sapp of Fightful. Can't say, poor Sean Ross Sapp. I can't speak. I'm sorry. Here is the thing that they had on the TV. Apparently, it's again, this is all about stocks. If you have some stocks in this, it's for you. If you don't, then I mean, it may not be for you and everything like that. So, I mean, again, that's what this is all pretty much all about. And we will get into how this all will really change anything, if that, and we'll keep talking about it. But this is the outside. And this is them at the press conference. We have Triple H, Bianca Belair, Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, Dana White, and others at the WWE event, such as Vince McMahon. We have, as they said, Triple H. I don't know who a couple of those people are. I know Montez Ford was also there. So there was a lot of people that were there, and it's a big thing. Look at Vince. Can we talk about what is Vince doing, guys? Any idea what this man is doing? Because this man looks like a disaster, and I don't even know. So yeah, but let's get to it. We also, guys, the WWE. I wanted to talk about this too because there was a report that apparently Nick Khan was asked a question about CM Punk possibly returning back to the WWE. So, what do you guys think about CM Punk possibly coming to WWE? And this is what Nick Khan had to say about it. He said, listen, we only have respect for Phil. We appreciate his run here. We appreciate what he did and what he tried to do with the UFC. Not many people can actually get in there and do what he did. So when we have respect for Phil, we wish him nothing but the best. Also, Brock Lesnar has done work in UFC. We've seen Bobby Lashley do some stuff in UFC. Obviously, Logan Paul does the stuff in UFC with his brother and everything else like that. So there's a lot of things that, this and that. And it would be very interesting to see if CM Punk were to come back to WWE. But I just do not see it happening. And I just do not see CM Punk coming back to the WWE. As much as I would like him to come back and as much as I would love to see him wrestle, I don't know if it would be the best situation. And I don't know exactly, again, we could talk about these dream matches all day long. And there are so many of them. But I just don't know if it would be worth it. And again, not saying that it couldn't happen because it very well could happen. But I don't think it will happen. So, yeah. But CM Punk, those were the comments by Nick Khan. Shout out to my man Covant TV. I want to make sure I give everybody a shout out that I'm using all the pictures for. So go check him out over there on Twitter, on Instagram, and stuff like that. They got a podcast too, so go check them out. But CM Punk, I don't know, guys, and I really don't know what to feel about CM Punk possibly coming back to WWE. I just do not see it happening. So Nick Khan has more. He has more things to say regarding the talent crossover possibly between UFC and the WWE. ESPN he talked to, and he talked about this on ESPN. He said you could also see in the UFC people with big personalities who once their UFC done is run and the fighters say, hey, maybe now the time is to call it a day. Could they people take a longer life at WWE and extended life with TKO? We think so. Pretty much, I think what that means is people from UFC going to WWE and people from WWE going to UFC. And I mean, that would make sense because it would just, it would bring people, the UFC fans, to watch WWE, and it would bring us WWE fans possibly to go check out UFC. Now, I mean, I don't know if I'll pay $69.99 for a pay-per-view for UFC, but we'll talk about how that could possibly happen, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't know exactly. Again, we've seen Ronda Rousey. I didn't even mention Ronda Rousey. Shayna Baszler has a mixed martial arts background. We have a lot of people that do the same types of things. So again, this all makes sense. And we'll be talking about how this really will change anything, as I keep saying. But I just want to make sure we get through all this information if you guys did not know exactly what this was about. So yeah, but it looks like we could possibly be seeing crossovers. And another thing we possibly could be seeing is people possibly like how we've been seeing, obviously we just saw Tiffany Stratton lose the NXT title last night, but we've been seeing her on Raw. We've been seeing Carmelo Hayes a few times on SmackDown. Before Grayson Waller got called up, we saw him on SmackDown. So we possibly could be seeing that where we see Dana White at a SummerSlam in the front row, and we see Montez Ford, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch at a front row of a UFC event. It's not like that they don't go anyway. So it just gives them more of an incentive to go, and it could give more the TKO, the merger. It could give them more fans. It could give them, and again, it's all about the money. It's all about the stock, and it's all about this and that. So, yeah. But a crossover would be pretty cool, I guess. Now, let's talk about every superstar that is apparently on the banner. Another shout out to Wrestle Ops. because there is a new TKO company video package, hype video, and there is a new picture that will be showing in a little bit of the full UFC TKO WWE. But the superstars that are featured in it, Becky Lynch, Logan Paul, John Cena, hopefully we can see him. We got Bianca Belair. We got Jey Uso. And I think I even saw Naomi on the picture. So there's a lot of people, UFC, WWE. I think it's a really cool picture. And again, this is a way to bring it together. It's all about the money. Vince McMahon brought in Ariel because, Ariel and Vince are buddy up and everything like that. And obviously, Vince will have a little bit to do with what the company will have to say. And I was thinking about it, and after listening to a bunch of the podcasts and everything like that, I do think that, obviously Vince will still have some type of control and, something like that. But I think it's going to be more towards like Brock Lesnar, the bloodline, if he has any involvement in that. I think maybe Cody Rhodes in some aspects. But I think that's pretty much what Vince is going to be doing. Again, I don't know. We don't really know how much. We could talk all we want, but we really don't know how much Vince really cares about the WWE. We really don't know how much he really has his handprints into it. And yes, we could definitely tell by watching the weekly programmings and the fact that the last Monday night was under like Vince's control and everything like that and everything that we already know. I think it's funny the fact that we ended it with Nia Jax, and that was the last sight that we saw. And I love Nia. I think that Nia can be able to, and I think that Nia will do good. I think it will be, obviously I do not think that Bianca Belair, or not Bianca, I'm sorry, I do not believe that Nia Jax will beat Rhea Ripley. I think this is just an obstacle for Rhea Ripley to conquer. And again, at least she's facing somebody new. I will say that at least she's going out and facing somebody new. So within like aspects of like Vince and everything like that, I think Vince will have somewhat of control, and I think he'll have like his handprints in some of it, but I don't think he has his handprints in as much of it as we really think he does. And I think that, with Vince, I think that Vince just wants, again, Vince just, who knows what Vince wants, guys, in real. Like, we really don't know what Vince wants. Well, let's get into the next topic. And let's talk about Triple H's confirmation of not being on the board of director, but he has been he's not on the board of director for the new TKO. He has been on the board of directors since 2015. Info per a press release of the announcement of the closure in WWE was the transaction yesterday. As we know, it was official yesterday. So to clear the concern, though, he is still listed as the head of creative, with reporting to President Nick Khan. So pretty much Triple H just has to report to Nick Khan. And yes, it sucks that Triple H might not have as much control into it, and he might not have his, whatever, but he is still listed as head of creative. Like I just said, I do not believe that Vince will have a lot of say. I think Vince just wants to say in like a lot of the important stuff. And yes, that's kind of annoying, but I mean, it is what it is. What can we really do? Vince is literally going to pass away in that chair. And, again, Vince wants to be in it as much as he possibly can. But the fact that Triple H is still head of creative, he still is listed as that. I do believe, again, Triple H is probably limited on what he really can and cannot do, as much as we hate to say that and how much I really don't want to believe in that. But, I do think that Triple H will still be able to get his job done. He'll still be able to go out there and he'll still be able to put on good performances, good pay-per-views. I mean, the pay-per-views we've been having have been really good. We've seen really good matches. We've seen really good things. I mean, Gunther, a great Intercontinental Champion. Obviously, I think he's on the fast track of losing that and going on to be facing Seth Rollins most likely, maybe at WrestleMania 40. Maybe we see Gunther versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40. But they would be very interesting to see what will go down with all of that. But that's just a few things of what to say. But Triple H is still head of creative. So until his name is officially off of that, I'm not going to panic too much. And let's just hope the product gets better. Because in reality, that's all we can do. And as wrestling fans, we could say or do as much as we really want to, but again, they ain't gonna listen to us. They don't care what we got to say. They're just gonna do whatever they want to do. I mean, that's like really what it is. So let's get to it and let's talk about the money, because again, guys, that's what this is all about in reality. It's all about the money. And I was talking about how is this going to change things, and in reality, I really don't think it's going to change a lot. I think WWE will do what WWE will have to do. UFC will do what UFC has to do. And I think that, it will be, obviously, there will be some changes that we may see, like I said, with people possibly being in the front row. Maybe more UFC people come to WWE, as I said. And a lot of UFC guys really don't come to WWE as much as they probably like used to do and everything like that. So I think, I don't think there's going to be a big change. I think everybody's going to stay in their own lane. I think everybody will have a job. I think everybody will do, everything that they are set and what they need to be doing and everything like that. So I don't think too much will change with the WWE and the UFC. Maybe, possibly, maybe we get more like blood. Maybe we get more of like UFC type of feels, because I will say this, we watch a UFC pay-per-view and we see how much they hype it up and we see how much they put into it and we see how much money they put into it and we see like the product that they put out there. So maybe this might be a good thing for WWE, because we're going to talk about it in a little bit after I go through these last few slides about possibly the pay-per-views being on pay-per-view, possibly the Peacock expiration and them having to be and them not being able to be on Peacock and everything like that. So we will talk about that. But, I do think that, maybe this rises and this raises what they need to do and what they need to go out there and do. If UFC is good, listen, like the show's not good. And I do believe that the TKO, UFC, whoever is in charge of that, Dana White, whatever it is, I do think that Dana White will go out there and be like, listen, this is not good. Nobody's watching this. You got to go out there and do something. So maybe we see a little bit more edgier on the pay-per-views. Maybe we see a little bit more this and that. And listen, if they want to make it feel like a UFC pay-per-view and they want to hype it up like that and they want to do like make, I'm all for it. But I don't know if I'm going to be wanting to spend $69.99 on it. So let's go over the money real quick. But I wanted to talk about how I thought possibly it could change, but I really don't think it's going to change too much. And again, if it does, we will talk about it. But again, this is really all about the money, all about the holdings, the stock holdings, and everything like that. So WrestleOps, again, shout out to you. The following WWE executives received bonuses as a result of today's closing endeavors. Accusations of the company created TKO Holding with WWE and UFC. Nick Khan gets 15 million. Kevin Dunn gets 7 million. Frank Reddick gets 5 million, and the Game Triple H gets himself 5 million as also. So I mean, that's good. They got themselves a little bonus. And I mean, I guess that is, what it's going to be doing. I guess, hey, if you get a bonus for your job, hey, all for it. Go ahead. Hey, now go for it. So, but they are also, as I was talking about, keeping things separate. Shout out to the Ringside Report on Facebook. I think he's got a Twitter and stuff too. So go check them out. But it says WWE and UFC likely to keep the media deals separate after TKO Holding Group members. So as I just said, I think a lot of it is going to be separate. I think a lot of it's going to be this and that. And I think a lot of things are going to be, maybe they do merge. And, I do want to talk about now. We'll just talk about it here because this is the last slide I got before some pictures and everything else like that. But let's talk about what exactly this means for like the Peacock. What does this mean for pay-per-views? What does this mean for anything like that? So let's talk about the pay-per-views first, because as you guys know, the UFC pay-per-views are on pay-per-view. They're about $59.99, $69.99, depending on what cable provider you have and what you're watching it on and Bleacher Report and everything like that. But let's be real. Some of the UFC fights are really good. Some of them are really bad. And sometimes you shell money out and sometimes it is what it is. And, it is not very good. But I will say this. If they were to take away Peacock. The deal does not expire until 2025. It is only 2023, but 2020 came and gone and as fast as it came. So, I mean, we'll be talking about it before you know it. But the deal does not end until 2025. So we probably don't got to worry about this until at least WrestleMania 42, I think, something like that. So we do still got a few years on Peacock and everything like that. But I do think that once the deal is over, I do believe that if they were to take away Peacock, say they aren't able to come to an agreement, say they aren't able to agree on money, say they aren't ready to agree on whatever, I do believe that if WWE were to go to pay-per-views where they're selling them $59.99, I don't know how many people are going to be paying for them. Especially if hypothetically, yes, maybe they want to do the top 4 pay-per-views, 5 pay-per-views. If you want to do WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and the Royal Rumble, and maybe Money in the Bank or one of the international shows. Maybe if you want to do some of those where you put them on the pay-per-views and everything like that. But I really do not want to pay $59.99 for a pay-per-view like the Great Balls of Fire, Fastlane, Payback, Backlash. And I'm not saying those pay-per-views haven't been good, but they haven't been worth $60. And, $60 every couple months, or if we have we have a hypothetical situation where we have an AEW pay-per-view, we have a WWE pay-per-view, and then you watch a UFC pay-per-view, that's a lot of money that I don't know how many people are going to be able to shell out $150, $60 on pay-per-views for a weekend. And yes, there's obviously other ways to watch it, but, I don't know. They're going to lose a lot of business for that. So hopefully they keep the Peacock deal. Hopefully AEW goes to Max. Maybe UFC will bring WWE to ESPN Plus. Maybe WWE will bring UFC to Peacock. I mean, there's so many different things to do it, but I do believe that if they are going to, and they are going to have, and they're going to bring money, and they're going to want us to put out more money for these pay-per-views, for like the B-level pay-per-views, as what we call them in the IWC, or you call them, or whatever we call them, So I think that would be more realistic, maybe the 5 big pay-per-views. And yes, I know that wouldn't be everybody's favorite, but if that's what they're going to do, again, it's all about the money with them. So something I just wanted to mention about that, because it's something that could possibly very well happen. And if it does, we'll have to figure it out. I'll still be here watching the pay-per-views every time that they have them on. We'll figure out a way. And if I really have to, as long as you guys come and hang out, we'll get the pay-per-views. But I mean, we'll just have to see what goes down with that. But that's something not to be too worried about right away, because obviously, as I said, the deal is not expired until 2025. So we got all of 2023, all of 2024. And then, as I said, I think it expires after WrestleMania or something like that, because I think that's when they got it or something. I don't know. Something like that. So the last thing I want to talk about here before we go through a few pictures and I go through the chat, and then I say goodbye until we come back for AEW Dynamite in a few hours. I wanted to talk about how this possibly could be and what could possibly be happening with the pay-per-views, the premium live events with UFC and WWE, and the actual events on the actual weekends. So, as you guys know, we got Survivor Series coming up. I'll just use Survivor Series as a perfect example just because I'm going, and it will be the best way for me to explain it to you guys. So Survivor Series is happening on Saturday. I think it's November 24th, if I'm not mistaken, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. SmackDown will also be on and in Chicago at the Allstate Arena. So they've been talking about possibly having where WWE has a pay-per-view on a Saturday, or UFC has a pay-per-view on a Saturday, and then WWE has a pay-per-view on a Sunday, or UFC has a pay-per-view on a Sunday, whichever way they want to do it. Saturday WWE, Sunday UFC, Saturday UFC, Sunday WWE, whatever way they had it. And I think that would be a great idea, because you could have stuff be going around the whole city. You could have stuff going around at the Allstate Arena. You could have fan events. You could have stuff be going down. And I think that would be really cool, because if I had a UFC fan, me and the UFC fan could go to the UFC event on Saturday, and then we go to the WWE event on Sunday. Or if he doesn't want to go to the WWE event and I don't want to go to the UFC event, he could go. And, it just give more things to do, give more opportunities to people. It would give things, it would just be something that other people could go out there and do, and that they can go out and they can have a good time. They could celebrate with their friends. They could just, yeah. So I think if they are going to do that, I think that's a phenomenal idea, because going out there and having weekend events like a weekend SummerSlam, Survivor Series type of a weekend with other stuff going on, it just brings more people, and maybe people are like, ooh, let's go check out Survivor Series 2. And they go check out Survivor Series. Or people are like, ooh, let's go check out this UFC event. We got nothing to do on Saturday night. So I think that would be very good, and I think it would be very good for them to do, because it will bring people like me that really doesn't watch UFC. And we've had Rocco on a few of the past episodes, and he's really into the UFC. So Rocco and I could go to UFC, and, he could teach me some things maybe I don't know. And then maybe if he hasn't been watching WWE, I could let him know. So that is another thing that they could very well be doing. And again, as I said, this is all about the money, guys. And it's all about the stocks, the money, and this and that. So that is all of the information that I have about everything going on. So if anybody else has heard anything, let me know. But let's take a look at a few of the pictures that we did have from the event and everything like that. And then I'm going to go through the chat, and then I'm going to say goodbye for the rest of the afternoon. But we will be back here tonight, as I said, for AEW Dynamite at 7 o'clock as we watch all the action go down. So let me show you some of these pictures, and let's talk about it, because it's the same picture as I showed you in one of these other pictures in this one, but it's a closer up look. And as you guys can see, we got Vince, we got Nick, we got Triple H, we got Dana, we got, where's she at? We got Bianca, and we got a bunch of other people. I think Ariel's in there somewhere. He's in there somewhere. I forget which one he is, but Ariel's in there too. So here's a picture, New York Stock Exchange, as you guys can see, the mid-cap blah. I don't know what any of this means. If anybody has any idea, I have no idea. So, yeah. We got Papa H, and guys, what is Vince doing? I don't know what Vince is going for. I don't know what he's trying to look like. I really have no idea, Vince, bro, but you're just not doing a very good job here, man. You're just not. It's just not working for you, guys. It's really not. So Vince has got to figure out something else to do, guys, because Vince, I don't know. And then we got the full picture. Shout out to Sports Kita. Shout out to them, as they have the full picture out there, as you guys can see. We got Jay, we got John Cena, we got Bianca, we got Logan Paul and The Miz, we got Becky Lynch, and then I forget who. I low-key have no idea who this UFC fighter is. So if anybody has any idea how the UFC fighter is, let me know. I did also see something on their UFC WWE page that they created, like the website. I did see Naomi on the cover of one of these. So maybe we see Trinity, Naomi. Maybe we see her come back. I don't know. There could be a lot of things be going down. But as I said, that's all the information I have here for you guys. I don't want to make this episode too long, because we'll be here all day long. So let's go and let's talk about, and let's get to the chat. Let's see how everybody's doing, and let's see what everybody's feeling. What do you guys think about this? Will you guys shell out the $60? Will you guys put the money out? How are you guys feeling about this? Will this change your opinion of watching WWE? Do you think this will get better? What do you guys think about all of it? Just let me know. So let's get to it. I'm trying my breath. I don't think WWE is on Netflix, Jadis. Oh, it's then what was, okay, so The Wrestler is a new Netflix documentary series on Peacock. It's not a movie. It's not like WWE. It is a movie. I said it's not a movie. It is a movie. It's not WWE. It's like a documentary. I'm very interested to check it out. Missy said he's old. She's old. He's old. Missy, you're funny. Still here. I feel there's nothing to talk about with the new UFC and WWE joint thing. Well, again, and I think a lot of it is I did not see that, Missy. And I think that, and again, Jadis, again, in reality, it is more just about the money. It's more about the stock exchange. If you don't have any stock exchange or anything like that, it's really not going to be that big of a deal. And like I said, we can only have the product go up from here. And let's just hope that maybe the pay-per-views get better and maybe they start showing a little color and maybe they start having it feel a little better and we start seeing like not even better video packages, because the video packages they put on are absolutely amazing. But if you guys ever watch some of these UFC video packages that they put on, they are incredible. So maybe they put some more on like that and they just add to the already amazing video packages that they have. So I feel like it's going to be more stuff like that. So yes, Jadis, we could possibly be having no more Peacock. Possibly. Let's hope not, but possibly. Roman versus CM, if that was a pay-per-view, would you pay? I might. I might pay $60 for that match. I very well might. Yeah, I very, very well might. So, yeah. Pay-per-view still on Saturdays, so I think all of the pay-per-views that have already been announced, I think that they will stay the same that they already are. I just think that, we could possibly be seeing a Sunday WWE event or a Saturday UFC event, because if you guys know, UFC is on Saturdays. And again, this is a lot to do with just depending on how they want to do it, because we got Saturday football too. We're going to have to sit here on a Saturday night. There's going to be Saturday night football one week, guys, and we're going to actually watch the game and play some Madden at the same time. So I think it's the Jets, because the Jets have so many primetime games because of Aaron Rodgers. It's gross. So we'll have to see what that is. But we could be seeing more Sunday WWE pay-per-views and more Saturday UFC pay-per-views than they already have. UFC has a lot of shows that go on that you can watch for free, but they also have the big fights that everybody goes out and pays for. So, yeah. Jadis said I saw that picture. Jadis, I appreciate you being here. Thank you both for coming and hanging out. Seth and Becky are husband and wife champions. Yes, they are. Big Time Bex is a champion in the WWE. Again, as I said last night, I do believe the only reason why that Becky Lynch really won the title was to become a Grand Slam champion, and so they could say that she is a Grand Slam winner and that she can now have all the titles. I believe she'll lose it at No Mercy. I believe that Dominic's going to lose the North American title at No Mercy. And I think they're going to go back to their represented brands and everything will be okay. So this is, again, a way just for them to build to the pay-per-view No Mercy. Hey, we got April in the house. What's up, April? April's here. What's up, April? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But, guys, that is the last, and that is all that I got here for you for today's episode, this little short. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let me know if you guys did enjoy this episode. Do you guys want to see more of these types of episodes where I take a topic, we talk about it, and then we just hang out for a little bit? I don't want to make it, as I said, too long, because I'll just start rambling, and then nobody wants to listen to that. So I'm going to stop here for now. We will, as I said, remember, guys, we'll be live here tonight for AEW Dynamite at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. We got a Fatal 4-Way. We got Brian Cage, Nyla Rose, Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, Don Callis, and so much more. But if you haven't yet, and if you got some time, it's only an hour. But if you got some time before AEW Dynamite, go check out the new My GM episode that came out earlier today, as we did the road to WrestleMania Backlash, as we only have 3 more episodes till the season, or 2 more episodes till the season 1 finale. And then we have the season 2 premiere, where it's the ultimate shakeup, and we take 2 new brands, 2 new rosters, and we go through a whole nother season, and we see if Tino can see and what can go down in season 2. So season 1 is almost done. If you haven't yet, go check out that episode. As I said, we will be here live tonight for AEW Dynamite. If you haven't yet, go hit all those notifications. Go on the social medias. Go follow all the social medias. Tino's Time, the Southside Boys, Tino's Time Wrestling, and everything like that. I hope you guys also, if you have not yet, subscribe, become a member, leave a super chat or two, all of that good stuff. And I totally understand if you can't. But if you hit that subscribe button, it does help us here, and that's a free thing. So hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And let's continue the road to 1,300 as we fell under 1,240, but we'll get back there. So if you haven't not yet, subscribe and join all the fun here on Tino's Time. Make sure, as I said, guys, do all that good stuff. But if you can't, you know what you can do. Hit that like button on this episode, as I just said. Subscribe again if you have not, on the road to 2K. And finally, turn that bell on, that notification bell on, so you know when we go live tonight for AEW Dynamite at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Guys, go eat some lunch. Have a good afternoon. And I will see you tonight at 7 p.m. on NNTBS TNT for AEW Dynamite.